So here's a video, Martin Hughes and Steve Shives talking about atheism and racism, and they talk about TJ in this.
Yeah. Right.
Martin Hughes.
We'll just milk this for all it's worth.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. I am
Great title
joined
cards.
by the author of actually now 2 blog articles that have both really made my week.
What's up with this garbage music?
He
Holy
is a writer at Atheist.
It's like the music in the waiting room of a 1970s dentist office or something.
Better production value, better music. I mean, really, come on, dude. It's just no good.
Martin Hughes is not his real name.
On the Barrier Breaker blog, I want to welcome Martin Hughes. Martin, how are you, my friend?
Pretty good, pretty good.
A couple of days ago, you wrote an article for your blog on Patheos about about atheism and racism, specifically about a video that the Amazing Atheist made in response to a BuzzFeed video, and then just.
No, it wasn't.
It's already wrong. Yeah,
it was not in response to a BuzzFeed video. You fucking retard. It was in response to a video from a crazy black PhD guy who fucking has a YouTube channel, and he made a video called 20 Questions Black People Have for White People That BuzzFeed Didn't Ask. So he was actually drawing a contrast between himself and BuzzFeed.
Get some fucking facts, Steve. Come on, get some fucking facts, buddy.
So, I mean, that's how little you fucking know right out of the gate. It's impressive.
And then you also wrote a follow-up to that after the Amazing Atheist made a response video to your first article. So I wanted to have you on and talk about it because...
Why is that laughable? He said something and he responded. Like, that's laughable. Oh, he responded to you. Okay. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Because my response is so pitiful and whatever.
Oh, and you're so racist.
Yeah, I'm such a racist. And but no, I want to see... I didn't actually know he responded to me again. I haven't even seen his response to my video. That's interesting. I am in contact with him. Maybe I should ask him to be on the show. Maybe he'll come on and defend his positions in real time.
I don't usually talk about other YouTubers, especially ones that are of the sort that you wrote your article about. But
demons.
You touched on some...
He's a demon, what come from the pits of hell.
Yeah, from the depths of the underworld, the unwashed, the unclean, Amazing Atheist.
I'm not typically allowed to associate with people who don't toe my wife's ideological line, so, you know.
His mistress, you mean?
Very broad
His master.
issues in your response to the Amazing Atheist, and I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about those broader issues and sort of the problems that people like him and their popularity sort of signify in the atheist community.
People like him.
So
what do you mean,
just...
Steve?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What does that mean?
What do you mean, people like me? Are you disparaging me because I am a bisexual male? You saying that bisexual males are not to be trusted? Is that what's going on here? I'd like you to clarify this statement, if not issue an apology.
Check your privilege, Steve.
You check your fucking straight privilege, bitch.
Yeah, you are at least 132nd Indian, probably. So
I am. And I have some Hispanic in there too.
Yeah,
one of my ancestors was named Lorenzo.
So
okay?
you're a triple minority. You're a bisexual atheist of color, and these guys have the effrontery to accuse you of like to even speak about you.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's bigoted, and it's hate speech. And I demand they stop or issue an apology.
And be removed from YouTube. Removed from YouTube.
Yes.
Let's get started with what was it that sort of drove you?
So there's a BuzzFeed video that said that was 24 questions for white people from black people. And then he wrote, he made his response to a video made by some other black people who were like, you know, here are 20 questions that BuzzFeed video, you know, didn't ask.
So at least this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about, unlike Steve.
Yeah, he does.
I will give him that. He actually knows what he's talking about, unlike Steve Shives, who's sitting there spouting off bullshit like a fucking jackass as usual.
Yeah, but what made me do that? What made me respond to it? Or?
Yeah, because I know in your article you said you almost didn't write the article. And then you wrote the article, and it came across so powerfully. Like, what was it that sort of what threw the switch in your head that made you think, okay, I've got to say something about this?
Yeah, there's been a lot of things that I haven't responded to in my blog simply because, you know, I hesitate to, you know, I'm a fairly small blog overall. Every once in a while, I write something that gets a bunch of hits, but usually, you know, it's, you know, pretty small blog. But I didn't want to write something that gave a blogger that I disagreed with a lot more publicity, right?
Right.
There's a whole thing of, okay, this is really racist or this is really sexist. But if I call out this person specifically, I'm going to give them more publicity. And so that's just like feeding into the reason why.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the free publicity.
Yeah.
No one even knew who I was until the Patheos Amazing Atheist is a Racist article. That made me, man. That fucking made me.
The Amazing Atheist video kind of something I should respond to is I looked at it and I was like, holy crap, there are 470,000 views. And I saw the views before I saw the like bar. And I was like, you know what? He probably just got really downvoted on this. This is like, you know, it didn't really hit me.
Wait a minute. Doesn't even make sense. I mean, like, when you're looking at a video, like, all that stuff is immediately, like, apparent in your field of vision. Like, your mind collects that stuff, like, instinctively the second you even open the window.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there like, I was sitting there, I was watching it, and I was thinking, well, the people must hate this, obviously. But then I saw the like bar, and I realized, oh, no, the people like it.
If you've been watching YouTube for longer than a week, as soon as you open a video and you see that big red fucking Sith lightsaber, you go, oh, that's like the first thing you see. It's designed that way.
I guarantee you that I'm almost certain they're going to paint you in some Trump-like picture. Like, look at people like Trump getting out there, and the Amazing Atheist is going to be lumped into that. Like, you're just another racist getting out there, you know, drumming up views with your racism.
I did get a lot of views, but I don't think it was racist.
Because I watched the video out of curiosity. It came on, you know, there's that Pew Research poll that came out recently. And I was looking at some stuff on race on YouTube, and Amazing Atheist videos are rated pretty high. So somehow I clicked on, and I'm not subscribed to him or anything, because I was like, oh, that Amazing Atheist says something.
Wait till you're not, Steve. What he had
to say.
You block everyone, you little bitch.
And so when I clicked on it, started watching it, I was like, surely people don't agree with this, even though all these people watched it. And then I looked at the like bar, and like 90% of people thought that it was an awesome video. And
they liked it.
And the other 10% are fucking stupid. No, whatever. I mean, you know, free to disagree. But you're wrong.
500,000 people had watched it. And most of those were probably atheists, knowing, you know, the Amazing Atheist demographic.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, somebody needs to like address this racism in this video specifically. Like, and my piddly blog is not going to, however many thousands more views he may get on his video from my blog, isn't really going to, you know, give him significantly more publicity.
Oh, but you know what? Every little bit helps. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, because it'd be irresponsible of you to give me more publicity, you know? Because then you'd be subjecting people to ideas that are, like, different from your own.
Which you had
they
no
might
problem
have
doing.
thoughts that, you know, you don't want them to have. You got to control the narrative. Got to make sure everyone thinks like you all the time, right?
I just wanted to point out, I mean, your response video has a lot of views, and that's giving traffic to his blog. You don't give a shit. You're not like, oh, I don't want people to hear his opinion. Like, people are free to listen to his opinion. We don't care.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was never sitting there for a second like, oh, you know, I mean, doesn't that kind of speak to, like, the weakness of your message, that you have to sit there and worry about giving me more exposure, but I have no problem giving you more exposure. I don't care.
Looks like he's enjoying the exposure he's gotten, too.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll give you all the exposure you want. Martin Hughes, everybody. It's Martin fucking Hughes. He has a Patheos blog. Martin Hughes. Martin Hughes. Check out Martin Hughes on Patheos. I don't give a shit.
Hey, cut that out, TJ. Too much exposure.
If I wanted to start checking out a new blog, whose blog should I check out?
TJ?
Well, I mean, if you want me to actually recommend it,
no,
I can't because it's bad.
You know, I
have no problem directing people to it if they want to look at it.
I heard this fella Martin Hughes has got a whip cracker of a blog.
Whip cracker, really? About a
whip
black
cracker?
Man?
Damn, Paul.
Jesus Christ, Paul! And you say I'm the mean one while you cast about willy-nilly these racial epithets.
Dude,
and
maybe
shit.
Paul is racist, dude. I don't
Disgusting,
know.
Paul. Disgusting.
Whip cracker.
Paul is the true racist here. Paul.
I'm not a racist, but when I see a black man, the first thing that enters my mind is whips, and I don't know why.
Wow.
Wow, damn,
Paul.
Some dark shit, Paul.
Already getting, so I gotta say something, and so I did.
Yeah, it's we seem to view it very much the same way, because I like I said at the beginning of our conversation, I don't, as a rule, talk about other YouTubers, especially other atheist YouTubers. I have talked about the atheist YouTube community in general,
right,
as being kind of a sewer, you know, as being a lot more
You're in the sewer,
bad
Steve.
people than good
You're
people,
part of the sewer,
unfortunately.
you fucking idiot.
No, dude. He's the filtration system that's cleaning up the sewer water and making it pure and clean.
Perhaps
again.
in his own delusional mind, sure.
Steve Shot, he just looks uncomfortable to be him. Like, every time I see him, I just feel bad for him for being him. You know what I mean?
His life is walking on eggshells. He walks on eggshells constantly. You can tell.
Did you see the picture of Steve Shives from Reason Rally when he's like sitting in like the lawn chair? And he's like,
no.
He's got like the worst posture ever. And AIU actually said something about Steve Shives that made me laugh really hard. He said Steve Shives does the scoliosis shuffle. I thought that was pretty funny. And TJ Fat Knights.
People like you, Ben, are why the atheist community is such a cesspool.
It's a sewer.
It's a sewer, Ben.
Shut up and start fat knighting my freedom of speech, TJ.
All right, I will.
Take the cock out of your mouth and start fat knighting my freedom of speech.
I'll do it. Fat Knight to the rescue.
Yeah. But I don't like to single people out for the reasons that you just mentioned. You know, that you don't want to give people more publicity. As a general rule, I think it's better to ignore people like that and to just try to set a better example and provide an alternative and say, hey,
let's ignore other ideas.
If you want to watch an atheist on YouTube who isn't proudly toxic, you know, maybe look over this way.
Proudly toxic.
I mean, I'm not perfect, but I make somewhat of an effort.
You're not? You're not perfect?
Really?
Wow. I always thought you were. Thanks for clarifying,
this
Steve.
false, self-appreciation. You know, oh, I'm not perfect. I'm not
perfect, but I'm better than everyone else. I'm better than this toxic cesspool of ruffians that have taken over the atheist community.
These scoundrels!
Why are they even crouching this in an atheist community argument? Because they're all of their problems with you are identity politics problems. It has nothing to do with atheism.
Shut up, Paul.
You know,
you're so
and
illogical.
as do others as well. I mean, I'm not just putting myself up on a pedestal. There are, you know, Aaron Ra is good, and Seth Andrews is a hero of mine, and Matt Dillahunty, and a lot of smaller YouTubers that I love.
Yeah, but Matt Dillahunty was actually man enough to come on here and talk to us, and you're not.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'll give him that much.
As well, like Christy Winters and Foxy Jezebel, and just a whole bunch of awesome people that I would much rather be paid attention to than the likes of The Amazing Atheist.
Right.
But your article
what
touches
you like
on
is
something
irrelevant,
that,
Steve. If you're talking about community, you're just one person that makes up the community. What you want is irrelevant. People are going to listen to different ideas. You know, oh, people should listen to these other people's ideas. Well, that's fine. They do listen to them to some degree, and people want to listen to TJ. Why? Because there's an audience for it. It's all logical. It's all very sound. If you actually consider these ideas from a rational perspective,
there's plenty of people who can listen to people that he was listing and listen to people like me and Thunderfoot and whatever else, and they're fine.
Yeah, why can't they just keep open-minded?
To actually tolerate other fucking perspectives.
Yeah, Steve, why are you so close-minded? I mean, yeah, you might disagree with TJ, but you don't think she's ever made a point you agree with? It's like, no, everyone, if I disagree with someone, they have no value. They should just be shunted off to the side. That's a dangerous mindset, Steve. It really is.
Damn.
is just so discouraging and so troubling about the atheist community, especially as it exists on YouTube, where I think the problems that are present in the broader community.
In what sense is it a community? It's a group of people who upload videos, and then mostly people who just digest content.
I mean, isn't it kind of weird to like bring this guy on specifically, like this author of this article, and then just monopolize all the fucking time yammering?
Yeah, what the fuck? I forgot the guy.
I forgot he was even there. I mean, like, your guest just arrived. Like, shouldn't you be talking to your guest?
This is just a surreptitious way to fucking attack you. That's all it is.
I was just gonna say that, dude. The guest only exists as a reason to crouch behind his wall of block bots and take a little jab at you every once in a while. What a fucking pussy. What a sad, simpering fucking cunt that has to block people, refuse to speak to them, and then wait for a fucking opportune moment when that person does something you disagree with and get a little needle in there. What a snatch you are, Steve Shives.
Snatch.
He's a total fucking snatch of a man.
Total snatch of a man. Someone should screenshot this and make it say total snatch of a man.
Bonus points if you can actually tweet it to him.
Yeah, you'll be blocked immediately.
Let's see if anyone can actually get through his block shield.
Get them to see it. Yeah, they can just make a new account.
The fucking block force field.
People will just have to make sock accounts and like go in and tweet it at him, and then he'll block them.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a great cycle. I think it's beautiful.
Oh, Steve.
Seem to get amplified, you know, because like, you know, sexism is a problem everywhere, not just in atheist circles. It's a problem everywhere, but it's even more of an apparent problem on YouTube. Racism is a problem everywhere, including in atheist communities.
Really?
But it seems like it's even more of a problem on YouTube because it just gets amplified. And that's that. And there was a point in your first article where you said, you know, this video of his at that point, I think, and you mentioned it had gotten like 400,000 views, and you said that
470,000 views at that time. Thank you.
It's more people than attend the largest secular conference.
Yeah, man. I tried to get that. I tried to take that quote and make it into a tweet, but it was too long.
People are saying he's a cuck, not a snatch. Cuck is like the most overused word ever.
Oh my god.
And, like,
beta male.
And snatch is definitely below cuck, I would say, on the ladder of garbage.
Insult
yeah.
Aspersed with. Yeah.
Steve actually might, in all actuality, be a cock, though. In all fairness.
I doubt it because his wife is like some crazy radical feminist. She's probably like terrified of dick.
Yeah, he's probably cooked by like some other woman or something.
What?
I mean, I don't know how many minutes into this video we are, but I do think it's pertinent that we haven't even touched on a single fucking disagreement that they have with anything that you said yet.
I'm kind of amazed by that myself at this point.
This video is really long.
I keep waiting for the part I'm supposed to argue with, and I'm just kind of like sitting here like, okay, you hate me, I get it. Okay, where's your argument?
Yeah, you're toxic. You're a piece of shit.
That's what I'm waiting for. I mean, like, I don't want to just sit here and take pot shots.
Dude, this always happens, though.
I mean, where the fuck is the meat? Where the fuck is the substance?
But, dude, it always happens with, like, I've seen so many attack videos. It's always like you're ruining, this terrible representative of the atheist community on YouTube. It's like, what atheist community? What are you talking about? Like, people that post videos? Like, there's no real association between content creators. Maybe there is in some cases, but not really. It's at best is a very loose community. It's not like TJ's representative of atheism or as an idea or a belief as a whole anyways. He's just one guy. It's his opinions. That's it.
And that was the part that really kind of punched me. You know, I was like, shit, he's right. Like, this is, you know, because I went to my first conference last year because of the area of the country that I live in, most of the big conferences aren't near me, and I usually can't afford to travel to them to go to the conferences.
Am I just to assume that there's never any sort of argument against me presented in this video, or what?
Yeah, you're just evil.
Like, it's just like, presuppositionally, he's bad and wrong, and we don't have to justify that position at all, because everyone just knows.
Crouten and T is in the chat, and he said,
Crouten T.
He said his wife, I think he said, hold on, let me read it. I have to scroll back up to it. It said something about like how his wife forces him to get fucked by black guys, so no, he's not a cuck.
What was that? He's like a sissy then.
He's a sissy
He's a
boy.
sissy. Oh, okay.
He's a sissy for BBC. That stands for Big Black Cock. Does he wear like negligee as they're plowing him in the ass?
Oh.
I bet his cock is like in a little fucking chastity cage. Yeah, okay, I can see it. I can see it. Yep, I can see it.
Disgusting.
Filing that one away.
But there was a conference that took place about an hour for me, kind of a larger regional conference. And I went there and it was like vacation. I mean, it was just wonderful. It was like going to visit your friend who lives in a nice neighborhood.
Here's the thing. You want to go to your conference and meet those kind of atheists that go to conferences and talk about that kind of bullshit and whatever that exists for you. You can have that. No one's trying to take it from you. Have fun. Have at it. So why is it that you can't exist over there in your space with your fucking ideas and values, and we can't exist over here in our space with our ideas and values? Like, why does there have to be a confrontation?
You're missing the subtext. They're so butthurt that people like Thunderfoot and Sargon and you
way more popular.
Way more popular.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And their conferences are fucking. These conferences are so sparsely attended.
Here's the problem: because we're more interesting, and people don't feel like they're walking on eggshells around us, because we're not going to just be easily offended by, oh my God, you're racist, you're sexist, you're this, you're that.
Even the people that do offend you, you don't block them normally unless they get like.
I really only block people who like harass and annoy me. If someone's a pest, I block them. I'm not going to block someone because, oh, they disagree with my ideology? Fuck you! I can't handle disagreement.
Yeah, he goes even further than that. Like, he goes out of his way to set up these fucking block bots that block people who happen to be following people he doesn't agree with. So it's not even the people he doesn't agree with.
Even just open-mindedness is punished.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even just fucking considering another point of view is penalized in Steve Shives' world.
Have you ever heard him talk, like, say, oh, being open-minded is great, listen to other ideas is great? He's always saying, like, look, we need to provide our narrative. People need to listen to this narrative and ignore all these other ones that are bad and sexist and racist or whatever. They're toxic, essentially is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Just think like Steve.
And then you have to come back to your place in the shitty neighborhood. And so that part of your article really
that part of the article was great.
Really kind of hit home with me, where you pointed out, like, look at how many views this has. Look at how lopsided the like-dislike ratio is in favor of what this guy is saying.
Now it's lopsided?
Look at how hurt our butts are. Look, guys. This is like... Man, this is like a bunch of GoBots fans being like, how can all these people like Transformers better? GoBots is clearly superior.
It's just as good, if not better.
It's way better. I mean, like, that's the level of inconsequentiality this video has so far. Transformers versus GoBots. Big fucking deal. Supposedly, I'm so problematic that it's a problem that people are even, like, listening to me or considering my point of view.
Well, you're toxic.
Because I'm a toxic.
You're poisoning the well, TJ.
I'm like Tim Curry,
Toxic love.
So clearly that bothers you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It sounds like fucking Rain Man.
Definitely it does. It does.
Yeah,
yes, definitely. Yeah. It's like, what? Just talk.
And now you guys show you're clearly ableist.
I think a lot of it is due to the demographic of the atheist community. Pew Research poll came out a few months ago, right? It was basically saying atheists are white, like overwhelmingly white, much more than the general population. Like, the general population is already white, but atheists is like something over 90%. It was enormous. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. And of those white people, it's mostly male. So nearly all white and mostly male. That's your demographic. And if you look at...
Oh my God, the most evil group in history, guys.
There's a lot of white males.
White males, guys. Every fucking evil thing in all of history
but atheism
was done by white males.
I mean, but atheism is not something. It's like that's really more of a.
Oh shit! A white male.
It's an individual choice. It's not as if you know, you can't become an atheist tomorrow. It doesn't matter what you look like. Anyone could be an atheist. It's not difficult. It's not really hard to be an atheist.
I'm surrounded by white males.
Maybe in some circumstances, being openly an atheist is difficult, but personally believing it, no, it's not.
You know, people may think that, I'm not saying this because I'm like just against white people. I'm saying, well, if you look at the Pew Research poll that just came out a couple days ago, that highlighted the disparities between white people and black people in views of race. And it's like night and day. Black people say there's a major problem with race. Something like 75% of black people were saying, yeah, discrimination is a problem in black people's lives.
Why is such a cultural conflict? Of course, there's going to be those opposing points of view. That's why there is the conflict. If all white people and all black people agreed that, oh, everything's racist, there wouldn't be an issue. That's where the issue stems from. Is obviously, like you said, according to this research, a majority of blacks think that race is a huge problem, and a majority of whites probably think no, it's not a big problem, or it's like it's not as big of an issue.
But there's just supposed to be this presuppositional argument that, oh, 75% of black people says there's a problem, so there's a problem. Like, they're automatically right. Why? Because they're black? We're black, so we know. I mean, if we said we're white because we know, so we know, that'd be fucking racist.
Yeah, that's a bad argument.
You can't just be like, my skin color alone proves that I'm correct about this.
Well, what they try to argue is that basically because they have a different experience that you cannot, it's really essentially impossible for you to ever understand because you're not black. That's essentially what it boils down to.
Why can't I then say, like, well, you just don't understand the white experience, so you got no room to talk about that?
But that's not the narrative that they believe in. Because you have a position of power that's not your experience no matter what. It's impossible for you. Even if they try to explain it to you, you still wouldn't get it because you haven't lived it. So you have to actually experience it. But then if you question their experience...
at that point, it's basically just something that's supposed to be taken on faith.
Yeah,
I'm an atheist. I don't believe in faith. I don't believe in taking things on faith. I don't believe in saying, oh, well, let's suspend all logic and reason and just assume that you're right because you just are, and you don't need to have any sort of points or arguments or make any sort of reasonable case why you're right. You just get to be right automatically. Fuck that shit. Not doing it. Not playing that game. Not playing by those fucking rules.
36% of white people agreed, which is like less than half. So
yeah, it's about a third.
If you're trying to, so along with the atheism,
a little bit more,
comes a predominantly white demographic that doesn't really think racism is a thing, and so if you're packaging
that wasn't who was polled. You're conflating two different things. They just polled the poll you said was just white people in general, was what Pew did. They did not poll white atheists. As to that, I don't feel you can conflate those two things necessarily. Maybe a vast majority of atheists do think it's a problem. Maybe a vast majority don't. They'd actually have to poll specifically atheists by race to get that determination.
Other messages, and you're trying to appeal to that crowd, things outside of just atheism, when you're appealing to a mostly white male crowd, saying this kind of stuff that the Amazing Atheist and other atheists kind of in his vein say will play well because of the demographic you're trying to appeal to. And this sounds really, really cynical, but I think they know that. They know that.
I'm a white male, so, I mean, I say things, maybe other white males agree. It doesn't mean there's a conspiracy. It doesn't mean I'm like, he's just saying it to fucking play to that demographic.
How do they know how do they know your demographic is all white male? We don't really, like, YouTube doesn't provide anything like that. There's no way, like, we know you have a more male audience, but we don't know the racial makeup of it.
Yeah, that's true. YouTube doesn't keep tabs on the race of users. I would say it's probably mostly white males, though. But, I mean, I get messages from fucking black fans. I get messages from, like, fans from the Middle East.
They love me.
Hispanic fans, whatever.
They love me.
They all love me. I'm the best. The atheists, the Hispanics love the Amazing Atheist. They love me. Ask anyone. I'm the best.
I've eaten a taco before.
Dude, I fucking love tacos, all right?
I love Mexican food. I love the Mexican people.
I don't like their music.
They have a few different types of music.
I don't like their music that I hear when I go to Mexican places.
Like mariachi music?
Yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah. And also like pop covers in fucking Spanish and shit.
I don't mind the mariachi music, but I don't like the other kind.
I don't like any of it. Well, it's all annoying to me.
There you go.
Fuck you, Mexican music.
I grew up listening to that shit, man.
Your food's good, though.
I like a good fucking accordion ballad,
Yeah.
dude. Dum, bum, 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 lo siento, no me prendo al lamento de mama. Brum, bum, bum, bum.
It makes me cringe even just hearing Paul do it. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
Dude, if I go to a place to eat and there's live music, my night is instantly ruined. Like, I do not like...
You're so fucking sensitive,
I do not
dude.
like live music.
You're so sensitive.
I mean, you know, whatever.
Princess and the Pea.
Dude, it's actually...
If I'm with a bunch of people, I'll tolerate it, but, you know, it's
TJ's
not my
the Princess and the Pea. Everything must
Whatever.
accommodate him and his specific tastes.
Yeah. So what? I have fucking standards. Big deal.
I think they probably know that with some of the stuff that, you know, TJ is saying, and that I think kind of pushes the envelope a little bit farther than he would otherwise. Like, I think they kind of know that. I think they kind of know that's going to get people donating to the Patreon account and so on.
That's one of the.
It's all just about the money. Doesn't Steve Shives have a Patreon account? Correct me if I'm
It's different
wrong.
when they do it, dude.
Oh, okay.
It's different when they do it. Totally different.
That's one of the aspects of this I wanted us to discuss, because a few people that I talked to earlier today before we did this wanted me to ask you about that too. Like,
all right, let this torture end, please.
Ooh.
Dear God, please let this torture end.